Imagine a world profoundly changed by science. Picture ancient beasts, long gone, roaming once more, the colossal woolly mammoth, its heavy, deliberate footsteps shaking the frozen tundra. The peculiar dodo, its once silenced, unique call echoing through lush island forests. These are not mere scenes plucked from a fantastical dream. They are vivid visions that modern science is diligently trying to bring back into existence. What if the finality of extinction wasn't truly forever? This powerful question now hangs tantalizingly in the air, challenging our understanding of life and death. This incredible, almost audacious idea is known as de-extinction. For many, the term itself sounds like something straight out of a science fiction blockbuster. For many years, indeed, it was precisely that, a captivating fantasy confined to the pages of imaginative books and the silver screens of cinemas. But science, in its relentless pursuit of knowledge, has a remarkable habit of catching up with human imagination. Now, the complex process of bringing extinct species back from the silent abyss of death is becoming an increasingly tangible, actively pursued scientific endeavor. The stuff of dreams is steadily entering the realm of concrete possibility. How is such a monumental feat even conceivable, you might ask? Powerful cutting-edge tools are making this once unthinkable prospect a reality. Genetic engineering, for instance, now allows scientists to meticulously edit the very blueprint of life DNA. The technique of cloning, famously demonstrated with Dolly the sheep, offers a potential pathway to create genetic copies of long-lost creatures. Even selective breeding, an older, more traditional method, can be employed in new ways. These sophisticated techniques are advancing at an astonishing pace. They are relentlessly pushing the known boundaries of what we once thought was unalterably possible in the vast field of biology. Scientists are diligently unlocking nature's ancient hidden secrets. The prospect of de-extinction is undeniably thrilling, sparking curiosity and wonder across the globe. Yet this newfound capability also opens a veritable Pandora's box filled with complex and challenging questions. If we truly possess the ability to bring back species from the dead, from the annals of natural history, should we proceed? What profound implications would such actions have for our delicately balanced planet? And perhaps more introspectively, what would it mean for humanity itself and our role as stewards of the Earth? These are not simple questions that yield easy, straightforward answers. They delve deep into the core of ethics, the intricate workings of nature, and our fundamental responsibilities within the grand tapestry of life. The journey into the world of de-extinction is truly only just beginning. Genetic engineering stands as a key player in this revolutionary scientific quest. Think of it as precise biological scissors and glue. Scientists extract ancient DNA from extinct animals. They identify the closest living relatives, then they edit the living relative's genetic code. The goal is to reintroduce traits of the lost species. It is complex, painstaking work, molecule by molecule. This process is revolutionizing biological research. Cloning is another method in the de-extinction toolkit. Remember Dolly the sheep, the first mammal cloned from an adult cell. The idea is similar for de-extinction. Scientists need a well-preserved cell nucleus. This nucleus is inserted into an egg cell. The egg cell is implanted into a surrogate mother. If successful, the surrogate gives birth to the revived creature. It remains a delicate and challenging procedure. Selective breeding offers a traditional path to de-extinction. This method has been used for centuries. Consider how we developed dog breeds from wolves. Scientists search for living animal populations. These populations might carry ancient genes. By breeding these individuals, researchers aim to breed back a species. It is a slower, gradual approach. This technique relies on genetic heritage in living populations. These are not just theories, they are actively explored. Labs worldwide are committed to this work. They refine methods and face challenges. Each success brings them closer to their goals. Each failure teaches valuable lessons. De-extinction is a dynamic field of innovation. It showcases human ingenuity and curiosity about the natural world. De-extinction is transitioning from imagination to reality. This shift captures public fascination and sparks debate. Seeing these magnificent creatures again is powerful. They existed only as fossils or in books. Now scientists work to make them live again. This marks a major milestone in biological science. It signifies a new era of possibilities. Organizations like Colossal Biosciences lead this endeavor. They make headlines with groundbreaking projects. Reviving the woolly mammoth is a primary focus. The dodo is also a candidate for de-extinction. These undertakings require significant investment and expertise. They demand cutting-edge technology and specialized knowledge. Laboratories are becoming global centers for this frontier. Their work is closely watched by scientists and the public. Our fascination with lost worlds is deeply ingrained. Dinosaurs capture the imagination of all cultures. Myths of incredible creatures abound in folklore. De-extinction taps into our primal longing. It's a desire to reconnect with a mysterious past, a wish to witness wonders that vanished long ago. Science offers a pathway to satisfy this curiosity. It could make beings of legend walk among us. As hurdles are overcome, the focus shifts. The question of can we is being answered. This leads to the question should we. This is where the real debate begins. It involves ethics, ecological impacts, and moral responsibility. Resurrecting species is an immense capability. With great power comes great responsibility. So what exactly is de-extinction? It's the scientific endeavor to bring extinct species back to life. Once a sci-fi dream, now a serious field of research. Advances in genetics and biotechnology drive this shift. The ambition is monumental, challenging the finality of extinction. It raises profound ethical questions and responsibilities. Section 2, the scientific toolkit, unlocking ancient life. Cloning, specifically somatic cell nuclear transfer, is a primary method in de-extinction. It starts with a preserved cell containing the extinct species DNA. The nucleus is transferred into an egg cell from a related species. The embryo is then implanted into a surrogate mother. Finding intact ancient DNA is challenging due to degradation. CRISPR and gene editing technologies offer precise DNA modifications. Scientists aim to introduce extinct species traits into living relatives. Ethical discussions add complexity to gene editing in de-extinction. Selective breeding focuses on existing populations with ancestral genes. These tools can be complementary, enhancing genetic diversity. Continuous innovation is crucial to overcoming de-extinction challenges. Section 3, the architects of revival labs on the frontier. The quest for de-extinction is actively pursued by dedicated scientists in cutting-edge labs worldwide. These teams use the latest genetic and reproductive technologies to tackle complex challenges. Efforts are concentrated in countries with strong research capabilities and resources. Interdisciplinary teams bring together experts from various fields to pioneer this work. Colossal Biosciences aims to de-extinct the woolly mammoth and other species. Their ambitious goals include reintroducing the woolly mammoth to the Arctic tundra. Substantial private investment and public relations drive their efforts. These projects highlight both scientific excitement and controversy. Other significant players like Revive and Restore contribute to de-extinction science. They focus on conservation projects like the passenger pigeon and black-footed ferret. A landmark attempt briefly brought a Pyrenean ibex back to life through cloning. Universities conduct foundational research in ancient DNA and reproductive technologies. The landscape is diverse, reflecting different motivations and approaches. Non-profits like Revive and Restore view de-extinction as a tool for biodiversity. For-profits like Colossal attract venture capital for technological breakthroughs. All entities face hurdles like funding, public perception, and technical challenges. This dynamic environment fosters both competition and collaboration. Section 4, the current landscape, progress and hurdles. De-extinction has seen remarkable progress, yet challenges remain. We haven't seen woolly mammoths or passenger pigeons return, but significant milestones have been achieved. Full genomes of extinct species have been sequenced, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. Cloning techniques offer valuable insights. The Pyrenean ibex revival highlights potential and challenges. Major obstacles like ancient DNA degradation persist. Ethical and societal debates intensify as science advances. One of the most compelling arguments for bringing back extinct species is ecological restoration. Scientists see it as a powerful tool to restore the vital roles extinct species played in ecosystems. Ecosystems are intricate webs of life, and losing a species can disrupt the balance. Reviving key species could mend broken connections and heal environmental wounds. This vision of ecological healing drives ongoing research in this challenging field. Human beings possess an innate sense of curiosity. We have a fundamental desire to explore the unknown and understand the world. Science is a manifestation of this drive. De-extinction challenges our understanding of life and evolution. It offers invaluable learning opportunities and insights into genetics. This pursuit of knowledge must be balanced with ethical considerations. Many species extinctions are tragically due to human activities. Overhunting and overfishing have depleted populations. Habitat destruction from agriculture and urbanization has robbed species of their homes. Invasive species have wreaked havoc on ecosystems. Pollution has poisoned the biosphere. The dodo, passenger pigeon, great auk and Stella's sea cow are examples of human-caused extinctions. This creates a profound sense of collective guilt. We recognize our role in these irreversible losses. This acknowledgement often leads to considering de-extinction. De-extinction offers a potential pathway to atonement. It presents a chance to make amends for our past ecological sins. If human actions caused extinctions, perhaps human ingenuity can reverse them. This idea carries powerful emotional and moral weight. We may have an ethical responsibility to undo some of the damage. Reviving an extinct species could be seen as responsible stewardship. It could demonstrate our commitment to correcting past mistakes. It embodies hope for a second chance for lost species and humanity. This motivation warrants careful scrutiny. Is it about the well-being of animals or ecosystems, or is it to alleviate our guilt? Could it be about showcasing our technological prowess? There's a fine line between responsible action and playing God. The focus must be on ethical and ecological outcomes. The narrative of righting past wrongs has strong appeal. It generates public interest and support for de-extinction projects. This taps into a desire for justice and restoration. This emotional resonance drives funding and research. We must consider the complexities and risks of de-extinction. True redemption lies in changing our relationship with nature and preventing future extinctions. Beyond ecological restoration and scientific curiosity, de-extinction holds potential for unforeseen medical breakthroughs. Ancient organisms carry complete genetic blueprints, weathered by diverse evolutionary pressures. These genomes might reveal novel biological information invaluable for advancing human health. Studying ancient immune systems could uncover new mechanisms for fighting infections. The path from ancient DNA to modern cures is long and speculative. Medical benefits must be weighed against ethical considerations and ecological risks. The power to bring back extinct species raises a fundamental ethical question. What gives humanity the right to reverse extinction? Extinction has been part of life's dance on Earth for millennia. Are we overstepping our bounds trying to play God? This question taps into profound philosophical and religious beliefs. It suggests we believe we know better than nature. Our understanding of ecosystems is still limited. Manipulating nature carries enormous responsibility. Assuming we revive an extinct species, where will these animals actually live? Many species vanished because their habitats were destroyed. Forests were felled, grasslands ploughed, and wetlands drained. These habitats may no longer exist in a form that can support them. Recreating entire ecosystems is monumental. It requires vast land, specific climates, and complex webs of life. The world has changed since these species disappeared. Ecosystems are dynamic and constantly changing. Remaining wilderness areas have their own established communities. Existing species have filled the ecological niches left vacant. Introducing a revived species could cause significant disruption. Would a resurrected woolly mammoth outcompete existing Arctic grazers? Could a revived predator decimate prey populations? The revived species could become an invasive species in its ancestral home. The global climate is changing at an unprecedented rate. The environments extinct species were adapted to may be drastically different now. A woolly mammoth was adapted to the frigid conditions of the Ice Age. Could it thrive in a rapidly warming Arctic? Would the plants it relied on for food still be available? Releasing animals into unsuitable environments would be cruel and futile. We must consider if we are bringing them back to a world that can no longer offer them a sustainable home. This habitat dilemma underscores the need for careful planning in any de-extinction project. It is not enough to simply recreate an animal in a laboratory. There must be a viable, sustainable, and ecologically sound plan for its reintroduction. This involves extensive habitat restoration and careful assessment of potential ecological impacts. Without suitable homes, revived species would be condemned to a life in captivity. This would fall short of restoring lost biodiversity and healing ecosystems. It raises the question of whether such an outcome justifies the effort and resources involved. Beyond the question of habitat, we must deeply consider the well-being of the individual animals brought back through de-extinction. Will these creatures be able to live full, healthy, and natural lives? The process of de-extinction itself, whether through cloning or advanced gene editing, is fraught with biological uncertainties. Cloned animals, even of existing species, often suffer from higher rates of birth defects, premature aging, and other health problems. The first individuals of a revived species might face similar or even greater challenges. Their reconstructed genomes, based on ancient and often incomplete DNA, might harbor unforeseen genetic issues. Ensuring their physical health from birth to old age presents a significant ethical hurdle for scientists. Another crucial aspect of animal well-being is behavior. Many complex behaviors in animals are not purely instinctual. They are learned from parents and other members of their social group. How would a revived woolly mammoth, hatched in a lab and raised by a surrogate elephant mother, learn to be a mammoth? How would it acquire the specific foraging techniques, social structures, and migratory patterns of its extinct ancestors? Without this cultural transmission of knowledge, these animals might be poorly equipped to survive in the wild, even if a suitable habitat exists. They might be confused, stressed, or unable to interact appropriately with their environment or with each other, leading to a diminished quality of life. We risk creating beings that are biologically present but behaviorally adrift. The question then becomes, what kind of existence are we offering these revived animals? Are we genuinely restoring them to their rightful place in the natural world, allowing them to become true members of dynamic ecosystems? Or are they destined to become living exhibits, curiosities confined to heavily managed reserves or even zoos? If their lives are to be spent primarily as objects of scientific study or public display, it raises serious questions about the ethics of their creation. A life in a controlled environment, however well-intentioned, is vastly different from a life lived freely in the wild with all its challenges and opportunities. The potential for suffering, both physical and psychological, must be a central consideration in any de-extinction endeavor. Ultimately, ensuring a good quality of life for revived species requires more than just biological success. It demands a profound understanding of their needs, physical, behavioral, and social. It requires a commitment to creating conditions where they can not only survive but also thrive, expressing their natural behaviors and fulfilling their ecological roles. If we cannot reasonably guarantee such a life, then the ethical justification for bringing them back becomes highly questionable. The responsibility for their well-being rests squarely on the shoulders of those who would bring them into existence. De-extinction could divert resources from saving endangered species. We face a biodiversity crisis with countless species on the brink of extinction. Conservation efforts are underfunded and face immense challenges. Critics argue that de-extinction is a dangerous distraction, potentially weakening public support for traditional conservation. The ethical challenge lies in finding a balance. Colossal Biosciences aims to bring back the woolly mammoth using cutting-edge genetic engineering. Their goal is to rewild the Arctic tundra, restoring the mammoth steppe ecosystem. This could help preserve permafrost and mitigate climate change. The project faces immense scientific challenges but holds transformative potential. It symbolizes a new frontier in conservation and our relationship with nature. Revive and Restore aims to bring back the passenger pigeon, a species that once darkened North American skies. Using genetic tools, they hope to correct a historic ecological wrong. The goal is to restore their vital role in forest ecosystems. This project symbolizes hope and ecological healing. De-extinction projects like the Pyrenean ibex, thylacine and dodo highlight both the potential and challenges of reviving extinct species. The ibex clone's brief life taught us about cloning's fragility and ethical considerations. Projects like the thylacine and dodo aim to use gene editing to bring back these iconic species. These efforts push the boundaries of science and raise important ethical questions. The goals of de-extinction projects often extend beyond bringing an individual animal back to life. The ultimate aim is ecological restoration on a significant scale. The hope is to reintroduce species like the woolly mammoth to their former habitats, to heal ecosystems and enhance biodiversity. This vision transforms de-extinction into a proactive conservation strategy. Another goal is the advancement of scientific knowledge and technological capability. Researchers are developing novel techniques for ancient DNA and refining gene editing tools. The knowledge gained could benefit the conservation of endangered species and have broader applications. These projects also serve a powerful role in public engagement and education. They capture the public imagination and spark interest in biology, genetics, and the history of life on Earth. Ultimately, the grand visions reflect a deep-seated human desire to understand, innovate, and perhaps redeem. The dream of seeing extinct creatures roam once more is captivating, but unintended consequences loom. Introducing a revived species into modern ecosystems could disrupt the balance. A revived species might become invasive, outcompeting native species and causing harm. Ecosystems have changed since these creatures last existed, and new food webs have formed. Beyond ecological disruption, there is the concern of ancient pathogens. Ancient DNA might harbor genetic information of ancient diseases, posing risks to modern species. Revived animals might be vulnerable to modern pathogens, creating new conservation emergencies. Predicting these outcomes is incredibly difficult due to our incomplete understanding of ecosystem dynamics. Releasing a revived species is a grand ecological experiment with potentially irreversible consequences. We must carefully consider the unknown perils that might emerge from this Pandora's box of resurrection. The Earth has witnessed countless extinctions, and de-extinction raises the question of which species to bring back. We do not have the resources to revive every extinct creature, forcing a difficult selection process. Criteria for selection include human-caused extinctions, keystone species, and scientific feasibility. The charisma of a species might also sway decisions, attracting more funding and public support. The cost and likelihood of long-term survival will play a role. The question of who makes these choices is critical and politically charged. Decisions might be influenced by scientists, governments, private companies, and indigenous communities. The process is subjective and vulnerable to human biases, potentially prioritizing visually appealing species. This dilemma highlights the need for broad, inclusive, and transparent discussions. Ethical responsibility and careful consideration are paramount before embarking on the resurrection of any lost life form. The proponents of de-extinction often articulate noble motivations such as ecological restoration and scientific advancement. However, it is essential to examine whether other motives like commerce and profit are at play. Companies like Colossal Biosciences attract substantial venture capital, raising concerns about commercial interests. Species with potential for commercial exploitation might be favored, blurring the line between conservation and commodification. The allure of scientific prestige and the thrill of the challenge can also drive de-extinction efforts. Scientists might prioritize projects that bring recognition and career advancement. Disentangling these motivations is complex, as they often coexist and interact. Transparency about underlying drivers is crucial to ensure genuine conservation outcomes. The public deserves a clear understanding of why certain species are chosen and the ultimate goals. An open and honest debate is necessary to balance commercial interests and ecological responsibilities. The counter-arguments against de-extinction include the specter of unforeseen and potentially catastrophic dangers. The Jurassic Park scenario illustrates the unpredictability of resurrecting ancient life forms. Revived species might be physically dangerous, requiring secure habitats and foolproof management protocols. The behavior of revived individuals, lacking natural upbringing, could be unpredictable. Unknown unknowns pose risks that we cannot currently conceive. Reviving an extinct species could trigger cascading effects throughout an ecosystem. The long-term impacts are difficult to foresee, making any decision to proceed a high-stakes gamble. The power to revive extinct species places an extraordinary weight of responsibility upon humanity. Extreme caution and a moratorium on releasing revived species into the wild are advocated by some. Humility and respect for the unknown should guide our steps in the new territory of de-extinction. Section 1. A future rewritten hope or hubris. The journey into the world of de-extinction is truly remarkable. It stands as a powerful testament to human curiosity and our ever-expanding scientific ingenuity. We are now contemplating possibilities that just a few decades ago belonged solely to the realm of science fiction. The idea of seeing a woolly mammoth stride across the tundra once more, or hearing the unique call of the passenger pigeon, is undeniably awe-inspiring. This emerging capability offers a tantalizing glimpse into a future where some of the losses of the past might not be permanent. It could represent a new, hopeful chapter in our complex and often troubled relationship with the vast natural world around us. This could indeed be a beacon. However, this extraordinary new power comes with an equally extraordinary weight of responsibility. The line separating hopeful, restorative intervention from dangerous, unchecked hubris is often incredibly fine and easily blurred. We must ask ourselves, are we truly driven by a selfless desire to heal our wounded planet and restore its biodiversity? Or are we perhaps subtly motivated by a more self-serving ambition to showcase our growing technological mastery over nature itself? The age-old temptation to play God, to assert ultimate control over the fundamental processes of life and death, is a recurring and deeply resonant theme in these crucial discussions. This challenging path forward requires not only brilliance, but also immense, unwavering humility from all involved. Consider the profound and far-reaching philosophical questions that inevitably arise from this endeavor. Does possessing the ability to reverse extinction fundamentally alter our understanding of nature's perceived finality? If we can effectively undo death for entire species, what does that imply for our perception of life itself and our role within its grand, intricate tapestry? These are not merely scientific or technical challenges that can be solved with more data or better equipment. They are deeply moral and existential quandaries that compel us to confront our most basic values and our ultimate place within the vast scheme of existence. The answers to these pressing questions are certainly not simple, nor are they likely to be universally agreed upon. The intense debate between the promise of hope and the peril of hubris will undoubtedly continue and likely intensify as the science of de-extinction steadily progresses. There are undeniably strong, well-reasoned arguments on both sides of this complex issue. The potential to restore lost biodiversity, to mend broken ecological links, and perhaps even to mitigate some past environmental damage offers a powerful and incredibly optimistic vision of hope for the future. Yet, the significant risks of unintended ecological consequences, of causing suffering to revived creatures, and of making profound ethical missteps collectively fuel the legitimate fear of human hubris. Navigating this complex and often ambiguous terrain requires exceptionally careful consideration, deep wisdom, and considerable foresight from all of humanity. Section 2, the ultimate question, navigating the path forward. The global conversation about de-extinction circles back to one crucial question: should we? Science suggests it might be possible, but the ethical dilemma remains. We must weigh potential benefits against harms and consider the impact on ecosystems. This decision requires collective wisdom, ethical scrutiny, and public dialogue. The ultimate question of should we urges us to proceed with wisdom and respect for life.